Welcome to the Nightly Rant
with
your hosts, Mike
and Torya.
This is the show where we examine society from a sarcastic point of view.
If you like insane conversations, this is definitely the show for you.
Let's get into today's topic. Things changed a little bit today.
Did they?
They sure did.
What changed?
Have you looked at Yogi?
He looks kind of naked.
He got shaved today. You guys are going to have to go to Instagram and see the photos of Yogi in his nakedness because he's just cute.
He looks like he clear cut a forest.
Yeah.
He went from being like, I'm a homeless dog who smells like Yeti because I need a bath every single day, to, aww.
Yeah. And then talking about dogs that went from looking funky to being gorgeous, that Odie dog, oh my gosh.
He's so dang cute now.
My gosh.
He was so weird looking when we first got him. He looked like a little white pig.
Now he's so adorable. He's got that little
cute
chihuahua face and the weenie body.
Yeah.
He's just so cute. And
Yep.
he kind of has a little bit of a chihuahua attitude mixed with the weenie attitude. Oh, I love that dog. He's
a handsome boy.
can't stand it.
And he loves his new owner.
He sure does. We knew when he was here, if you remember, that he would not sleep laying on
someone.
you or on anybody.
Right.
Unless he had come to the point where he really trusted you. And I'm talking, there were a couple times where that dog was super tired and refused. That's usually when a dog will let their guard down when they're extra tired. He refused. The only time he would let his guard down was when he actually trusted you. And this dog was in
And he would only sleep on me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this dog was in pictures just like lounging on her like she's a chair.
It was adorable.
So cute. And she loves him back. Like Alyssa was saying, my gosh, you can tell she loves that dog.
I think she loves him as much as Alyssa loves Yogi.
I think so.
And as much as you love the pretty girl.
Yep. She's a sweetheart. But,
She's currently inspecting Yogi because she can't figure out who the heck he is with his new haircut.
she always does that when he gets a haircut. Trips her out. Well, and if you think about it, logically, hey, did we get another foster dog?
He smells weird and he looks different. I can't blame her.
Know. They don't know it's not another dog.
Then she smells his breath and realizes it's Yogi.
Like, oh, it's Yogi. It's my brother. They're funny. But this has been quite the week.
As in, it feels like it's been 7 weeks in one and it's only been 5 days.
Well, in some ways, it feels like you snap your fingers and you've been through the 5 days, okay, in some ways. And in other ways, there's been so many long days. I mean, like, I'm used to, like, kind of going full bore until, like, 1:45 from, like, 5 in the morning.
Right.
Okay? I'm used to that. And then I go do my thing. Then I come back at 2:30 and I kind of use my getting things done system. If you can do it in 2 minutes or less and you have the energy to do it, start knocking the stuff off.
Right.
Take the low-hanging fruit off. And that's what I use the last part of the day for. Because I have less energy, a little more tired. So rather than having something that's critical that needs my, like, strong attention, I kind of cruise through the rest of the day. This week, I haven't had time to slow down. It's just literally been get up, go to the
16-hour
gym,
days.
Get up, go to the gym for like a little hour of an oasis, come back, get the kids' stuff ready if it's a kid day. If it's not a kid day, immediately start working.
But every day has been a kid day.
But then immediately start working. And then, like, you go from there. And then it's like you sit down and you're working. And the next thing I look up and it's like time to go get Alyssa. Quickly go drop her off at her mom's house. Come back here real quick. Then, Okay, get back to work. Next thing I look up, it's like the dog is looking at me like, well, I'm hungry. I'm thinking to
Right.
myself, he doesn't do that until at least 6 o'clock. It's like 7 o'clock by then. And I still have 2 hours of work left to do. And I still got to feed dogs, feed ourselves, take dogs for walks.
I think Tuesday night we didn't eat until like 9:45.
Yeah.
And the poor
Yeah.
dogs didn't eat until like 9:30.
Yeah.
And we ate crap.
And we don't do that. That's just usually not our style. But it's been happening because it's been so busy.
And you can tell we've been busy because our shows have been building up on Philo.
Yeah. That's kind of a nice thing.
Well, yeah, because now we kind of half watch them during the day or we're working.
It's kind of a nice thing.
But you've been getting up and going to the gym and having your like hour of you time in the morning. I've been getting up when you go to the gym and starting working.
I know.
Like, this isn't like me. Usually I sleep until you take Alyssa to school, and then I get up I wake up when you leave and get up when you come back. But now I've been getting up 2 hours earlier.
Makes sense.
It's disgusting.
It's just been really, really busy.
I'm over it.
I mean, and where the good news is that I feel like we are focusing our energies in a particular direction all at once. So there's a focus. There's not like this shotgun approach.
Right.
There's a single-minded focus. And so our energy is getting put into that. And if you think about it, it's like I heard a thing once about if you got into like 5 credit cards and maxed them out and you were trying to pay them and you didn't have enough money, what you do is you forget what the minimum that they want is. At first, it's okay to do this. If you can make the minimum payment on all of them except for the first one, you do it. But basically, you make as many minimum payments as you can and then a little minuscule payment to the other two so that they can't report it as not paid.
Right.
And you make those payments to bring enough money to pile it on the first card and get rid of that debt. Because what people tend to do is they keep trying to pay off bigger chunks to each card, and they all kind of get paid off over like a 10-year term. But you pay so much in interest when you do that. But if you take the money and you just throw it at the first card, and then once that card's gone, take the money from that and what you'd already been paying to the second card, pay the second card, and you keep doing that. And yeah, you're collecting late fees over here because you're paying a super minuscule little payment, but you adjust that each time you pay off a level. You pay this one a little less, and make sure that you're paying the minimum on every other account. And that way, they're kind of on cruise control, right?
Well, the best thing you can do is consolidate them all into one.
Yes, and then you're going to get to the point where you'll be able to do that. But yeah, that is the absolute best. But people don't understand the power of like throwing a lot of money at one thing and focusing on the one thing until that thing's kind of cruising on its own. And then you do the same thing with the next part of your life and the next part of your life. And I think that's why this business is bound to be super huge, because doing it the way we were doing it, which was a little shotgun over here and a little burst over there and slap some paint on that over there. You know what I'm talking about. We kind of built it in little pieces and we kind of went with ebb and flow. We weren't able to build one business line huge.
Right.
We tried to do too much in the beginning. And now what we're doing is we have a revenue line that we're working with, and we're focusing on that and trying to increase that. But our main focus is on one business line, and that's it. And by doing that laser focus, we're becoming experts at that aspect because we're learning as we're teaching. And I even include you in that because you're having to listen to every single audio in one way, shape, or form, or at least read the article because you've been making the slides. Anyway, I can't go into detail about that. I have to cut that out, actually. remind myself to remove that aspect of it. But you've been doing certain aspects of the content creation, and you're learning the stuff. I'm learning more about the stuff by doing more research and going more in depth. There were things that I knew like surface level. Now I probably know it like 10, 12 feet down under the ground.
That's cool.
But that's been a interesting thing because it's something that's different, right? People tend to like do the same thing. But I think my actual real thinking is that life goes in cycles. And I don't mean like your life goes in cycles and my life goes in cycles. I mean the times that we live in go in cycles. So there's the ultra conservative time. Then there's the just sort of conservative time. Then there's the liberal time. Then there's the ultra liberal time. And they're not necessarily an equal distribution.
Okay.
They only have their day, however much representation they have. So if there's X number of people that are conservative, that's the type of, lifestyle that gets represented.
Okay.
So point being,
are you going somewhere with this rant?
I'm trying to, but I keep forgetting the main point. Do
you require some assistance on where you're going with this?
Yes.
Records.
Right. But the point is that things change and things come full circle.
Right.
And I was saying to you the other day when we were sitting here talking with Alyssa, all of a sudden Alyssa's into, so she wanted a record player for Christmas, and she, typical Alyssa fashion, so exactly like what she would always do. She puts it on there, but she doesn't put what exact model of record player that she wants or the company of the record player or any of that.
Right. So we assumed that we got to pick it.
Exactly. And I even remember asking her, was there like any ones that she really wanted? Oh, no, you pick. So we go and we talk to Ashley about it a little bit because she's a little knowledgeable about it. And then we go and we do what we think is best, right? And we get something that's affordable for us.
Right.
And that gets good reviews and meets like the criteria that she has, which isn't really that strict.
Lo and behold.
So she gets the thing for Christmas.
And she likes it a lot.
She does. She loves it.
But then, like a couple days later, it starts to be a little funky. Like certain parts of it weren't working really well, and the speakers weren't fabulous, and then some white goo started coming out of part of it.
Right.
So she came to the conclusion that there was this one that was a little bit more expensive. Like, and by a little bit, we mean double.
Well, she actually had been talking to us about it before that, remember?
Well, yeah.
Saying that she was thinking of saving money to get this thing. And so then we made her the offer of paying like, another $60
yeah, we said
towards it.
You said you'd pay for half.
Yeah. And I mean, I thought that was fair because I think it teaches her you still have to save the money.
But so then
you earned the extra 60 by working hard.
What we ended up doing was returning hers because it was being crappy.
Yeah, so that's when the whole gook thing came out like a day later.
It was really
so we were
gross.
like, hey, you know what? What if we just return yours as defective and buy the other one? Then we'll only pay $30 more than what we paid. And then you can buy the speakers.
So she spent half as much money. We spent half as much money.
Exactly.
And it worked out.
Exactly. And now she has a really nice setup with like this record player, and then she has speakers with a subwoofer.
Well, actually, we ended up spending the same amount of money because we got her the stand for it to go on.
And she was having a hard time. We probably would have ended up having to do that either way.
Right.
That's my thinking. But the funny thing is she didn't understand that the speakers had a subwoofer. Subwoofers are supposed to be on the floor. She's trying to arrange the record player and the speakers and the subwoofer so that they're all on the counter. And I'm like, you're not supposed to have the subwoofer on the counter. Subwoofer is supposed to be on the floor. It's for the bass end of things.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to have them on the floor in an apartment when you live on the third floor.
Well, it's where they belong. I mean, what are you supposed to do with it?
Just saying.
Well, I'm just saying again, what are you supposed to do with it?
If I were her, I would put it like on the second shelf, like the second shelf of the cube. So it's like 14 inches below the record player.
Could
Then
do
it's
that.
not right on the floor, but you're still getting your lower bass.
Could do that. That'd be easy.
Yeah.
I'll do that for her tomorrow. That's a good idea.
I used to have a really cool
I have to
CD
point something
player
out.
with a
When I
subwoofer.
said, where do you put it then? You took that as me arguing with you, and I know you did because you fought back. And what really was happening was I was asking you, what would you do then
That's
if you don't leave it on the floor?
I used to have my bedroom set up, and I had 2 of those cheap square IKEA tables, and I had like drilled them together, so it made like a double layer. And I had a CD player with some great speakers on the top, and then I had one speaker in the closet because they had a really long cord, and I liked it to be kind of surroundy. And I had the subwoofer on the second level.
Surroundy. I love that word. I like that word.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it was great.
But here's the thing. I remember where I was going before I went off the rails.
Wow.
Those kids today remind me of exactly what we were like when I was 17 years old. It's like this cycle's come full circle and it's starting over again.
Like I was telling you earlier, I liked records in the middle period when they weren't cool. Hence how I ended up with like a 1980s record player as my inheritance from my grandmother when she died.
But that makes sense.
Right.
There's people who just like records. And I find it interesting because what we used to do is we would take the record out. Like, she's talking about how, you got to play it this, you got to play it that, you got to play it this, you got to play it that, you got to cover it with this thing, you got to cover it with that thing. Well, we did the same thing. And the difference, though, we used to take those and immediately record them onto a cassette tape. And then the cassette tape is what we used to listen to the music on a regular basis. The only time the record would come back out is if we were going to make a mixed tape, in which case we only wanted one song off of that album. We would have to bring it out and make a mixtape. I used to spend hours making mixtapes because I liked just a couple songs from there and a couple songs from there. And I'd make these mixtapes. You watch. It's going to come up at some point.
You think cassettes are going to make a non-hipster comeback?
Well, I'm not so sure it'll be cassettes. I think what it will be is a way for there to be an attachment for that guy to have an output to MP3.
They have those. My mom rented one.
I know they have
just
those.
A different kind of record player. But yeah, an attachment would be way cooler. She spent like $40 and she rented it for a week. And we took all of her records and we put them on MP3 for her. And then I burned them to CDs because she has a huge 50 disc CD player and you can shuffle all the discs. So she wanted all these mixed CDs in there with all of her records on them.
Makes sense.
And her CD player would read MP3 CDs, so you could fit like 200 songs on one CD.
That's nice. But these kids have come full circle because they're already into the records, they're into the concerts, but only certain bands too. Like when I was that age, we might listen to a little bit of this and a tiny bit of that, but probably 90% of my music listening time was like this band right here.
Yeah.
And
I don't think that ever changed. I think the people
when Ashley was her age, there was like at least 5 bands that.
But I don't think she's the same type of people as you and Alyssa are.
Just saying.
But there are multiple types of people, and you and Alyssa are the same type of people.
Yes, we are.
There was the people when Alyssa you were in high
clone.
School. There were people when you were in high school that would listen to like a bunch of different bands and not really have an obsessive favorite.
I never knew any. None. They all had an obsession. And then there were like the crazy ass Beatle lovers. They were crazy. Like lunatic crazy. The Beatle lovers.
If you say so.
They were. They would all walk around in the same t-shirt. It was weird shit. It was very cultic. So I don't know. I just think it's interesting that, like, it's kind of been a week of change, you know? We recognize the situation with Alyssa, and she loves her records. She loves them.
Yeah.
She just spent last year's Christmas money on 2 records. And I'm really happy about that, because that means that a gift we gave her last year helped bring her more joy this year.
Right.
Because she's thrilled. And did you see her? I mean, that's why I had to do this. When she's like, oh, it's going to be like $45 and I only have 40. Well, I know damn well she has more than 40, because what she wasn't thinking about was her own allowance card.
Right.
I know how much money's on there, okay? Not going to say, but I know how much it is. And instead of saying, oh, just put it on your card, I was like, don't worry about it. You did not ask me for 1 penny, and you were about to just walk away from one of those albums because you didn't have the money. In other words, you didn't come to me and be like, Dad, can I have, can you pay for one of the albums for me? She didn't do that. So she paid for all of it, and then I said, I'll pay the rest. It was like $6 because of tax.
That's not bad at all.
So I paid $6. She paid the rest. And it was technically I paid for all of it because that was gift cards I gave her.
What I don't understand is why y'all didn't put them in the same transaction.
We did.
No, you paid for the headphones first.
Oh, because I wanted a separate receipt for both.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
And it wasn't crowded, so why not?
It's just weird, but whatever. If that's what you wanted, then that's what you wanted.
Yep. And what I'm getting a kick out of is the things that she finds joyful about the records themselves are exactly what used to attract me to them. Because I can remember sitting in my room, listening to music, and looking at the liner notes of the albums. And it wasn't as cool with a CD. They were still there. What they tried to do is recreate the same experience, at least in the beginning. Nowadays, they don't even try. It's like they phone it in. But
when CDs were first really cool, they would have a book in the beginning.
Yeah, because it was basically a miniaturized version of the album art. I mean,
I used to get those and take out the book, and then I would write it all over everything.
Yeah, it was cool.
All the song lyrics. Song lyrics are my favorite part. Now I don't buy CDs anymore. I don't think I've bought a CD in...
But you know what?
15 years.
But I think proof that technology keeps catching up with society is that, look at that feature that Spotify has now, and they're slowly rolling it out.
The lyrics
all the songs where the lyrics are right there. I mean, that's exactly like back in the day, looking at an album and looking at the sleeve, or a CD and looking at the sleeve and reading the lyrics right off of there.
I read what they do. It has nothing to do with Spotify. Says they've had the feature for 2+ years, but that the artist, when they add their album, has to add the lyrics.
Oh, so you have to tag it with the lyrics. Yeah. That makes sense.
What's cool is when you watch it on the Roku app, and not only does it have all the lyrics for the song, but it also has a little bit of the history mixed in with the lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they put the history part on during the chorus.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So, hey, real quick, update over here.
Dunkin.
The wiener.
The wiener.
He
officially no longer has worms.
He doesn't have worms. He's gaining weight.
Quite rapidly. We're impressed.
They're still trying to kill off this UTI. So this poor little dude is going to get more antibiotics tomorrow.
Now he's getting 2 antibiotics, and they're different from the ones he's already had.
Which
means I think one of them will be that pink shit you have to inject into his mouth, unfortunately.
Yeah. Moxicillin.
And then he'll probably have another pill.
Yeah, poor wiener.
But he's doing better.
Yeah, he's more dog-like too now. Like I told you, I tried to give him that pill, and he got all mad at me. And he growled at me. And, at first I just thought it was Wiener. Wiener's just growling like he always growls. Who cares? And I just kept going. And then he snapped at me. And I was like, whoa, Wiener doesn't usually snap. This dog is pissed.
See, I try to give it to him, and he just takes it out of my hand like it's a treat. And the only time he ever catches my fingers is if I don't pull them away from him fast enough. Like, you kind of have to wait until he opens his mouth and then drop it in.
But he doesn't open his mouth when it's just the pill. And you told me he did.
He does for me.
Well, he doesn't for me. So then I have to put it in the damn cheese.
He loves the cheese.
And then he tries to snap my fingers off there.
But not because he hates
That
you.
dog.
Because he wants the cheese.
That wiener. He's cute and adorable. I love the wiener. He's a sweet boy.
Alyssa was complaining that Parker was on her bed. Parker the cat. And so I brought Dunkin in and I was like, I know how to get rid of Parker. And I like put him face to face with Parker. And he like Parker on the face, like all teeth.
You realize no one could see you do that, right?
Chomped him on the face.
There you go.
But like not hard, but just enough that Parker was like, he made that face, you know, that I'm Parker and I'm a super unimpressed little bitch face.
Uh-huh.
And then he had his paw up again, and Dunkin was like, wag, 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 wag.
Dunkin loves the cats.
He wishes they would play with him. I think he would like it if they would beat him up.
Yeah. He's weird. But I like him. I love his personality. I really do. It's very much different from Yogi's.
He's a crotchety old man. What do you expect?
I like it, though. Why do I like him being a crotchety old man?
He's your spirit animal.
Nah. I could never be like that. Mm-mm. I feel like I get younger the older I get.
Interesting.
It's my perspective. I'm entitled to it.
I found a gray hair in my eyebrow.
Do you like my...
I'm clearly not getting younger.
I'm wearing Captain America socks. They have become my favorite socks. First of all, they're super comfortable.
Good.
Second of all, did I tell you they're comfortable? Third of all, they look just like Captain America. Like, that is the perfect rendering.
Do you like the white
Captain
ones too?
America's logo. Yes. Then there's the white ones are kind of like, it's like a hockey team with their home jersey and their away jersey.
Have you tried the Dodger socks yet?
No.
You have to try those next.
Those are going to be next. Because these are just a exact fit of the other ones. So it's just a different look.
Right.
But these are super comfortable.
They're supposed to have the padded sole.
Yeah, they do. They do. It feels really good. My feet always get tired. Mostly from my gym time. But then you got the Yog Dog with his hair cut.
Now he has to wear his jacket because he's chilly.
Yeah. He looks cute though in his little red jacket. He's just passed out over
see
here.
His little pink butt skin. That's how closely they shaved him.
But they were so fast too. I got to give a shout out. We got to give a shout out
to Bow Wow Groomers and
Bow Wow
Cypress?
Groomers and Cypress.
A+ guys.
Those people are amazing. And by the way, they paid nothing at all for this shout out.
No, we actually paid them to cut our dog's ass fur.
But they do such a good job. And you know what? The dog, he's not traumatized when he comes out of there.
No,
he's just like all happy to see us.
Well, do you remember when we took him to that other groomer that I won't name because I don't like to bash things by name? And like he was upset when we were taking him in and he was trying to run away. And then we handed him to the dude and he growled at the dude. And then they charged us extra because he was quote unquote bad.
Yeah.
Well, then I don't know why I didn't read the Yelp reviews first. Go and realize that like tons of people have given them like 1 and 2 stars because their dogs have had like gouges and stuff.
Yeah,
and Yogi had a cut on his leg.
Yep.
Like it wasn't deep, and like if he hadn't been terrified of the groomer, and if we hadn't been charged extra, I wouldn't even care. Like he's gotten little teeny tiny nicks from his Bow Wow groomers before. He probably flinched because he's an asshole. But
well, but then there was that other place that we went that was also nearby.
The one that did Odie's haircut?
No, yeah, exactly. Yikes!
And our friend lives next door to them, and she says she can hear the dogs crying all the time.
So it's like, never mind, we won't go there
ever again.
And so we found this place because you know what? my deceased ex-father-in-law, stepfather-in-law, actually, that he had a dog named Nugget, and Nugget was like a Sheltie. So she was like a miniature collie looking dog, right? Beautiful dog.
Uh-huh.
Like, you know how beautiful Lila is? Like,
Yeah.
she's just so majestic. Same kind of thing. The dog was beautiful. And she was such a sweet dog, but she had like the teeny tiny little face. You know, she wasn't a big dog. She had a teeny tiny little face. And Nugget used to go there. But you know where Bow Wow used to be?
Where?
Where the nail salon is, up on Ball and Holder.
That would have been so much better for us.
Yeah, but that's where it was. And so when I saw that they were still in business and they were over there by Brewster's, I was like, hey, let's bring the Yog of Dogs over here.
So anyway, if you live in the area and you're looking for a new groomer for your furry ass friend, take them to Bow Wow Groomers because
Those
they do a good
people
job.
rock. Those people rock.
They listen to what you want. The people there are super friendly. Yog Dog likes them and he hates 90% of people.
Yeah, that's a good point. The Yog Dog actually likes those people.
Yeah.
The Yog Dog liked people. You know what? He likes people after he's met them like, I don't know, 10 to 20 times. Look at how he is with the neighbor.
I think he has to have spent at least a certain number of cumulative time with that person.
Yeah. He has his like, what's it? His prerequisite. Got to spend that time first.
He like spends an hour with you, even if it's over like 6 days. You're cool.
Yeah. Then he's ready.
But there's like a certain amount of time.
And if it takes 3 months for him to spend an hour with you, then that's how long it's going to take before he's cool with you.
Right.
And he's proven that with different people.
Right.
You know?
And then there's some people he just doesn't like.
Well, but isn't that like anybody? I mean, don't we all feel that way?
And to be fair, the people that he doesn't like, I also don't really like. So I get it.
Well, and then what's interesting about that, though, that's what's cool. Anybody that we associate with, he likes.
Yeah.
If we've had lunch with that person, dinner with that person, invited that person to a party, event, or otherwise important thing.
Well, and I'm not sure which came first, whether I disliked the person first or if he disliked the person first, or if I disliked them because he disliked them.
I don't remember. I mean, the thing is, we've set up our boundaries and we don't let just anybody in.
Right.
And we've got our kind of, core group of people that we trust. And I mean, and then let's be honest, there's plenty that are kind of at a distance, but they like can pop back in and be like tight. You know what I'm saying? So they're, they've been through the thick and thin with us, and that's, for me, that's what's the most important thing about friendship is you there through the thick and thin.
All I know is Yogi and I hate the same people. That's all.
And those types of people have been, that's what I'm getting at is with our new boundaries, those people are kind of eliminated from the picture. They're not allowed around anymore.
Right.
So we don't deal with that as much anymore. It made me, I had to stop and think about that. But yeah, it is, thank God, and I think when we finally decided to adopt the attitude of let them say what they want to say, they're just looking for a response, and I'm not going to give them one. I think that's when everything changed.
I still get feisty with people online, just for kicks mostly, though.
But that's not my point. I think once we adopted with the really like hardcore negative people, once we adopted the, you know what, we don't care what you think. We know who we are. We're just not going to respond to you. We're not going to give you fuel for the fire. It's going to keep it to ourselves. And we didn't give them any airtime. We didn't talk about them by name. We didn't talk about them by topic. Even now, we're not talking about them by name or by topic. We're merely saying this way would have worked.
Dear people that Yogi doesn't like, I also don't like you. That's what we're saying.
Exactly. Pretty girls over there getting all confused, going, where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? Careful.
She's a dingus.
So I think that we've bored people to tears
Well,
with
probably.
the talk about the animals because, we care, but I don't think they really care.
Everyone loves Yogi.
Maybe they should let us know if they care.
Do it. Send us an Instagram DM when you go check out the pictures of our super cute dog.
So before we sign the hell off, I wanted to point out that we, specifically me, has a new podcast.
You do?
And it's a podcast
about
for
fascism?
Podcasters
Okay.
about podcasting.
Interesting.
Do you know what it's called?
No. What's it called?
It's called Elite Podcast Academy.
Whoop, whoop.
And it is currently been accepted by Apple Podcasts and also Google Podcasts. And now I'm going to proceed to get it on all of the places. But we're finally getting a chance to show people what we know and what we can do. And it's awesome.
And you're clearly super excited.
It's been a lot of fun, but it's been a lot of work. It kind of goes back to why we've been working such long days. So we've been working hard towards one goal. And it's interesting how much has gotten done in a short period of time because we're not trying to spend an hour on 9 different things.
And this guy over here who's talking and rambling about his busy life is going to put a link to the new podcast in the show notes for all of you.
I might.
He's going to.
You could also just go to elitepodcastacademy.com. That'd be a simple way to go too.
Or just click the link in the show notes.
Down there.
It's there just for you, I promise.
Below. Right below my voice. Right below my voice. It actually says links mentioned in episode and then whatever the episode number is in the notes, I'm pretty sure. Just look in there. Any links that are mentioned on a regular basis are there. Any new links just for that show are there. There you go. Links.
So anyway, enjoy the new podcast. Enjoy the links. Click the links. Listen to the podcast. Good night, everyone.
Hasta la bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Nightly Rant.
If you enjoyed the show, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Google Play.
If you didn't enjoy the show, please just ignore that previous request for a rating.
This has been a Yogi's Podcast Network production.